Hi everybody, I'm Maxime. I'm a senior developer advocate at MongoDB based in France. And today I want to talk to you about the new Java release, version 5, that's been released a few weeks ago. Let's jump right in. So the first thing you can do is you can go to the Java Sync driver documentation in the MongoDB driver website. And you can check out the what's new section here on the side and click on version 5. And here you can see all about this new version. So you can see like the deprecations, the changes, and the new features. Just to keep it quick and short, in the deprecation, so we have this complete with unit method that's being deprecated from now on. So if you are not using it, just don't. Changes, it's about this get elapsed time methods that you can find in a few places. So it's a slight change of definition, but if you use it, just check it out. And for the new features, there is we just had support for authorized collection, which is an option for the list collections command, right? So it's a new option that's available. So if you are not using it, of course, you can start using it. Regarding breaking changes, you can head to this section here at the top. And in here, you have a long list of, everything that can potentially break your code. Some stuff in this list, it's very unlikely because most people, like 99.9% of the people, are not using them. But as you can see, it's a long list. So I will try to condense this in a sweet and short video and just cover the things that you might actually have used in the past and you have to change in the new version. So for this, I also wrote a blog post that covers the majority of the cases you will encounter. So if you are looking for this, just head here to resources at the top, click on the Developer Center, head to the Java section, and you will find my blog post about this migration. Also, so now we can jump in the code and let's see what is likely to break in your code. So here I am in my project. I have version 4.11 running, and I have a small code sample. As you can see, everything compiles. There is some deprecated warnings here, but the code compiles. It's not meant to do anything really, so it's not meant to be executed. Just want to show you, how it's going to break and why. So let's just move to the pom.xml. I'm using Maven here, and I'm going to change this to version 5.0.0. I'm going to save and reload the Maven project. And so in theory now, as you can see, a few things, are broken here and there, right? So those deprecated methods are not existing. So I have to replace them with something else. And some of the things are a bit more subtle. So for example, here, first thing I'm using, so list collection names. I guess many people are using this. And it does not actually return a Mongo iterable string anymore. If I use the auto-completion and I try to create a new local variable, it now actually creates a list collection names iterable, right? And this actually extends Mongo iterable string, right? So that's why it's worth still compiling. But it's still, it's better to use the bigger interface, right? So let's try to do this from now on. Then we have two things, so connection ID and socket settings. Both of these were graded to use longs instead of integers, right? So if you look at the signature here, it has been changed to long for the local value and the server value. So the fix here is very simple. You just change this to long in all these locations, and of course use like long, right? So add a little L, for example, here to make sure these are correctly longs. And that's it. So now we fixed the signature for connection ID. And here as well for the socket settings, the connection timeout and the read timeout are now longs, so it's fixed as well. If you're using vector search, when you want to filter, we had equality full, so ec full, right, in the filters API. So here you actually can use now ec, just ec, right? So you just remove full and this is going to work. Usually also I make this static import. So this is what your code should really look like at the end, right? Then we have here the read preference. So we used to have is slave OK to know if we are able to read from a secondary node. And now you can replace this by is secondary OK, right? Which is the same thing now in the Mongo shell. And finally, something you might have in your code is the netty settings. So when you create a new connection and you use netty, you might use something like this in the past. So the stream factory and the netty stream factory, which are really silly names, but that's what it is. So to replace this, you can just use now the transport settings and the transport settings.netty builder, right? And that's it. You just remove this and indent the code, and that's it. You're good to go. So those are the main things you may encounter in your code. I hope this video was helpful to you to help you migrate from 4.11 to 5.0. Check out the blog post. Here it's available and it sums up those things I just showed you, but there are also a few extra bonuses, if you read it. So just have a look. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.